Trying to sit up a little bit so I don't look as slouched and all those things. So, this podcast is being released late, and you probably know that. And I apologize, but this week has been very challenging for our family, and things happen. Things happen in life. And I am not one of those professional content creators yet that have things ready to go and batched and episodes like 6 weeks out. That'd be great. I'll get there someday, but not today because we work and things happen in this life, and things have definitely happened this last week. So it took me a minute to come up with the concept that I wanted to talk to you guys through and about because we all have these things. And I named this framing family milestones. And milestones. Well, milestones happen. We all have them in our life, depending on where you're at. You have more, some have less, depending on the events of your life. You have different kinds, right? And so we are currently in the middle of a milieu of milestones right now. And milestones mean things to everyone involved. And as you're raising kids, as you're going through your marriage and your life, and as you're dealing with extended family and timelines and place, area, where you live, all these things are affected by milestone events. So the first milestone event is a really good one, and it's a definite milestone. It's a positive milestone, and it's a milestone that people just simply experience, and it's a birthday. Our oldest, my son, turned 13 this last week, and that was a great milestone. It was a really good week. We've been looking forward to it, and lots of events and time and activities. We went fishing. We live in a place where we just absolutely enjoy God's creation of great outdoors. And summertime, middle of summertime here, and just it's been a good week. So that has been a really good milestone, and we did for certain. We don't pull out all stops on all birthdays. I don't agree with that very modern concept. We don't make light of birthdays. We don't it's just another day. We're not like that. Each birthday is special, to be clear, but some birthdays are more special. And so my son is traveling. He's a teenager now. Good Lord, I never wanted a teenager, but I want my son. It's this weird thing for me as a dad. It's like I never wrapped my head around the concept of a teenager. Well, we have one now, and here I am. So we'll talk more about teenager stuff down the road. What we did experience was the week we had. It was really good and everything. So we had his birthday was one day, but then we had a barbecue at our house, had a bunch of friends over and all this other stuff. And we have a trampoline. We have a big old trampoline. It's a great trampoline. We have played on this trampoline for years. And so we're getting towards the end of the night, and everybody is we're mere minutes away from people piling in cars and going home. Everybody's like well fed and relaxed and tired, and just, good conversation among our friends, their parents, and, the kids have been just nonstop playing on the trampoline in our yard and just, all the good things. And then the second milestone takes place. And what would that be? Well, our daughter, our second oldest, is leaning against the main post at the entrance to our trampoline. And that post, unbeknownst to anyone, was fatigued. And a fatigued metal post means it had cracks in it. And it failed. And she fell to the ground and she broke her arm. Nobody wanted that. It's the end of the night. It really threw a big bucket of water on everybody's mood. It was not her fault. She did not do it on purpose. It was nobody's fault. It happened. Nobody expected. She didn't tea kettle off the trampoline and, doing an epic thing. She was literally leaning against this thing, and it broke with her, with the weight of her. and she fell and she hit her arm bad and it broke, and everybody went home, and my wife took her to the hospital, and long story short, she was life flighted to another hospital for emergency surgery because it was pressing on an artery, and there was like real potential that she could lose a freaking limb if we didn't deal with this thing swiftly. We drove her home, and her birthday's next month. Another birthday, which is a definitive positive milestone, has definitely affected things from an unforeseen and somewhat tragic milestone, right? These things happen. Kids break arms, people get into accidents, the less than stellar events take place, and it's like, it's not her fault. She didn't do it. It's definitively, I use that word too much, definitively. It's absolutely changed things in our home, a super active, very athletic girl who does all kinds of stuff. She has a broken arm. That's a that's a definite that's a game changer for a while. Okay. And the break she's got, the doctor's already told her, it's like, this is not a simple break where it's going to heal up in a matter of weeks, because many breaks do. Breaks, if the bone is set correctly, if everything's kept still, a break will generally heal up in about 6 weeks on people, and life goes on. This is not that. This is at her elbow joint, and it's going to take a while. It's going to be much more arduous on her. She's going to have to go through PT at some point, and you know, this is where we're at. It's a reality of life, and so her world has come, in a sense, crashing down. And so we've had conversations and talks, because I've talked to you guys about our family saying we're Sigmunds. We do hard things because other people can't. The hard things have come to us now. It's like, we've got a broken arm. And so it's the concept of, what do we do with this? How does this look like? What do we do to recover? It's like, well, the conversations are, okay, we can sit here and we can look at our arm. We can understand, we can acknowledge the pain incessantly, and just like, yeah, because it does hurt. And she's valid in this. There's no doubt. And it's like, I don't want my little girl to be in pain. No way. I was literally up the entire night while she and my wife are at these two different hospitals, and I was praying, and I was like, just imagining where your mind takes you when you got a child that's hurt. And a good friend of ours told us when we had our son, and they're like, you have kids now, and this means that a piece of your heart is forever outside of your body. And I'll tell you what, it's true. It's a good statement. So my little girl was hurt, and I was praying for her and all this other stuff. And now she's home, she's on the couch. And to me, it's like, yeah, it sucks. She broke her arm, but that's such a blessing. She's now home, right? My wife's home. Normalcy has descended somewhat back again on our home. So I'm talking to her. It's like, we choose our attitude, right? We can't choose our circumstance. Life sends circumstances our way that we have absolutely zero control over. But what we can control is what we do, what we focus on. So you can either focus on the bad and what you're missing out on and what you can't do, or we can focus on things that you can do. We can set goals even in the midst of this, and we can make this a good thing. And for those people of faith, go read the book of James. We read it at least every year, once, probably more than once. Usually that's how that takes place. And all trials counted as joy, right? That's the message, one of the messages God gives us through the book of James. And it's a profound message. It's countercultural to everything that we are living in today. But it's a faith message. God is great. We have joy beyond our immediate circumstance, and that's the entire thing. And she's inevitably embracing that, right? And as a dad, that's what you want to see in your kids. You want to see resilience in a child, because they're not going to be kids forever, and we're not raising them to be perpetual children. We're raising them to be very capable adults who when life inevitably does happen to them, they don't fold. I don't want your kids to fold, and I surely don't want my children to fold in the face of circumstance, because circumstances do come. And so, in the middle of this, we have yet another milestone, an event that's happening to us right now. It is not culminated, but it is a milestone time. I'm going to keep the information limited, but my wife's mother, we're having the conversation on hospice right now, and she has cancer. It's the second round of cancer. She is at an age where we don't want to pursue aggressive treatment. She surely doesn't, and we want to respect her wishes on that. And I've lost both my parents already. They've both passed some years prior to this, and so I've already walked down that path. But this is current for my wife. She's not lost one of her parents yet, and she's got a good family. She's got a good mother, and so this is yet another event, another milestone of life layered upon the joy of a 13-year-old, the tragedy of a broken arm. And now we're in the middle of conversations with doctors and translators. My wife's mom is not originally from the States, not an original English speaker, and she speaks English well, but translators help, especially when dealing with other medical professionals and people who don't speak her native language clearly. So, and we don't live near my wife's mom and dad any longer. We're pretty far away. We live in a different state, and so that's another layer of a challenge during these events. I'm bringing this up because it's like we have to deal with these events. This is life. It's what you call life. I see a lot of people like bubbling their children and not allowing them to hear certain conversations or go through topics. But, a broken arm event, well, that's a pretty big topic that invades the household. Our littler kids they're doing a great job of helping their big sister. All of them shared in my son's joy of him turning 13. It's not only for him and about him. They are all involved, and they get to celebrate with him. And in the midst of this, we're having conversations of when we go and travel and go see my wife's parents and her family and try to help that situation, try to make sure we get there in a timely manner where we don't miss out on too much, right? And these are all valid and real conversations that my wife are having that we absolutely do in small aspects, of course. We involve our children in this, and they are seeing all of life. Okay, we're not partitioning life. They see the culmination of age. They understand the inevitability of the outcome, and we're all going to die. Me, you, everybody, our children. Sucks to even think about, but this is the life that we live. Death is inevitable. It happens whether we're ready for it or not. Right? These are milestone events. These are conversations. This is part of raising a child well and raising them in the context of faith. Because when you read through scripture and you read through biblical stories, life happens, death happens. There's new life. A buddy of mine, a good friend of mine, just sent me a picture of their new baby, and it's like no matter what's going on, new life takes place, and it's a beautiful and good thing. Families are growing, joy is being had. Here we are walking through, a very difficult situation, life-changing for a short amount of time with my daughter, life-changing ultimately forever with my mother-in-law, my wife's mom. Milestones happen. We need to acknowledge these things. We need to plan for them. We need to have these conversations. We need to talk about them. It's really important for kids to see their parents handling milestones well, right? This is how we show them. This is how we live life together as a family. This is the Family Readiness Project. We don't just talk about the stuff. You know what? This started out, and I think I've said this before, but this started out almost as like a refreshed prepper type podcast. And I haven't talked about that not one single bit almost at all. I've talked about, fa- families and faith and practices and predation and all this other stuff, all those really important things. But that's what this has turned into. And now I'm talking about milestone events and life and broken arms and all these other things. On the concept of death, and I'm gonna keep this brief, but one of my older brothers passed away a few years ago. We were not ready for this. Not going to go into specific details, but he lived a very good life, and we remember him so fondly, and I miss him every day. But he passed away, and I wasn't ready for it, but it was God's time. It was God's time to take him, And so again, living life through the lens of faith, we have to acknowledge it's like life is not just haphazard and random occurrences when it's our time. This is my belief. This is what I see, but this is what I see specifically in the Bible. It's when it's your time, it's your time, whether we're ready for it or not. Did his passing affect us all? Yes, it did. I was probably a lot more prepared for my parents' passing for sure than I was my brother. I was not ready for his life to be done, so to speak, on this world. I wanted more time with him. I expected more time with him. Through the conversations with my daughter about her arm, she's sitting there on the couch crying, and I hate tears. I hate tears out of her kid, but they happen. So I'm giving her some concepts, and it's like, listen, you could have fallen down on your head, your neck. It could have gone way worse than it did. And yes, it's a bad break, but man, perspective is powerful. And she's old enough to definitely understand. It's like, wow, this could have gone worse. I could have had a broken neck or head injury, whatever, right? It's the concepts. And thank God she didn't, but that's actually the point. Thank God she didn't. There are silver linings to bitter things. And through my brother's passing, were there silver linings in that? Were there more open conversations with parts of our family that we needed to have, and just kind of a refreshing of far-reaching family bonds? There was, and there has been, there still are. Heavy topic today, forgive me, but not really. I'm not apologetic for it. It needs to take place. Not everything is super exciting or scary or eventful. It's just like this is definitely much more of an inward thinking talk with you all. And we all have milestone events in our life. Embrace the milestones. That's today's message. Okay, we all have them. Don't avoid the milestones. Don't hyper focus on the milestones. We talked about that. It's hyper focusing on anything is probably bad. Okay, and we don't want to hyper over focus on a tragedy or an event and make it even more than it is. And events can be big. Okay, a death in the family, it will affect us for years. Clearly it is with myself and my other siblings and the rest of our family, with the loss of my brother a few years back. Even to this day, it's been a few years, and we still miss him. And that's appropriate. That's good. I still think about my parents. That's appropriate and good. My wife is definitely being affected right now by where her mother's at. That's appropriate and good. My daughter, clearly, and the rest of us, okay? We have a 13-year-old. That's affecting us in a different way. That's appropriate and good. Embrace life. That's the message I want to portray to you guys today. Embrace life with gusto, with verve, with passion, with goodness, with appropriateness. Don't make more out of things than what they are, but also don't leave things on the table. Don't closet them and don't ignore them. It's very important for your children to see you working through things, because you're teaching them this is what your life will be someday as well, whether you like it or not. Let's get on to updates. Am I still working on the digital discernment course? Yes, I am. Is it taking me a lot longer? Yes, it is, because it's a mountain of work, and that's completely on me. I'm good with it. I have released the first part and a message for everybody who has signed up for the sheets. You can go to our website, familyreadinessproject.com, digital discernment course. I will put the link in the show notes wherever you are. You can click on that, and it will take you to a page. And I have to fix something. I did not know that it wasn't working, that you guys weren't getting an email with the associated worksheets for the course with them. So I'm changing that right now. You're going to see a page with each sheet presented, and just click on each one. I know it's a pain. I've got to figure out a better delivery system, but this is what works today. And you're going to be able to click on each sheet and download it. The course, you guys seem to have liked it. Everybody is engaging with it and involved. If you haven't yet, go get it. It's free. It's yours. I made it for you. What's it about? It's the digital discernment course. What does that mean? Well, our phones, our devices, um, your kids' Chromebooks, the screen, YouTube, whatever, games they play, they are all actually by design, not all, but heavy-handedly, the majority of them have intents on your children and your family that you will not like. So this is what the course is about. It's a deep dive. It's a heavy-handed deep dive on first showing you what are the threats, what's out there, what do they do, how do they go after your kids, what does that look like, what are conversations that you can have with your children, so on and so forth. And yes, I've got a lot of worksheets and many, many, many more coming as the different sections of this course are rolled out to you guys. So please go sign up. Look for a new link in your email, and you can go and you can download all the stuff. It's free on YouTube, and man, I'm actually, yeah, it's a mountain of work to go through, but I'm enjoying going through it because it's like, my God, I wish we'd had something like this like 5 years ago when our kids were just starting to see stuff online. And yeah, have we seen some of this stuff actually happen to our family? We have. And I surely have friends that have too. And so I'm making the course that I wish we had going forward. And I'm, I'm praying that it's going to be a help and benefit to you all. I keep saying this. This is a movement. This is a movement for families. This is a movement for families of faith. And if you're watching this, I hope you are one. I want to grow this, and I need your help. I cannot do this alone. If you have families you can share this content with in our newsletter, man, if you got a friend who would benefit or you think would help, take the email that you get if you're on our email list and send it to a friend. Say, hey, read this. Click on the website. Please go sign up. There's actually a link at the bottom of each email where somebody can sign up for the newsletter. And that's made for you guys to send out to your friends. And I would really appreciate that. Why? Do I want to be famous? No. I know famous people, their life sucks. What do I want to do? I want to help you. I want to build a movement that actually helps mothers and fathers and kids and is a bastion, a citadel, a stronghold for your faith and your family and your home. And that's what we're doing here. And I can't do it without you. I keep saying that because it's true. Rick sitting here talking is not helping anyone. Rick engaging with you all helps a lot because you know what is the best part of it? Sometimes you guys email me or send me a message or leave a comment wherever you're watching this stuff, and that is fire to me. I love it. It just fuels the kindling of everything I'm doing. And man, you guys have great feedback. So email me, right? Leave a comment, leave a message. It's so good. It's not funny. Other parents see that and it helps them. So here's my ask for you guys today. Leave me a comment. Share this with a friend. Let me know some milestone events in your life that have been pretty big. Let me know of different ways that you've navigated that with your children and with your spouse. You know what? Because I'm still learning. I got a lot of gray hair, but I got young kids. I'm still learning every single day. So your comments help me. Okay, you give me thoughts, you give me ideas, you give me concepts. They fill the pipeline too. What do I mean by that? Oh man, am I working on a mountain of good stuff beyond just the digital discernment course. Ideas that you guys have given me for episodes, things you want me to run with. And yes, I hear you. I'm building all the above. I've got a massive whiteboard list. It's awesome. So thank you guys. And I'm completely serious about that. Thank you for everything you send me. I appreciate it so much. This has been episode 8 of the Family Readiness Project. I appreciate you all. I'm praying for you all, and I do mean that. I'm starting to pray for the families that listen to this overtly. because I want your families to stand. I want you to embrace your faith, be unapologetic for being a family in this culture, in this world we live in, and stand tall for the things you believe in and those you love. Thank you very much. I'm Rick Sigmund. See you next time.